drink?
That's coming up next. Do you favor ending the nautical mile TIFA and returning those tax dollars to the general fund, or is there still a need to capture funds for that district?
I think the easy answer would be to say, get rid of it. However, currently it brings in roughly $850,000 a year, which a third of that comes from the county. It supplies back to the general fund $175,000. Well, first off, you can't do that now because there's a bond, and there's a bond till 2012. And the covenants do not allow us to eliminate it until the bond is paid for. So you can't do it until then. Then you do have a decision to make. As I said, it's about $850,000 that brings in. A third of that comes from the county. That county money, the library money, that if the TIFA did not exist would immediately go back to the county. So what is that? That's like $275,000, $260,000 that you would lose. I will tell you that I've become greedy now, and I hate to give that money back because, again, the TIFA goes away, that money goes back to the county, goes back to the county library instead of staying here at St. Clair Shores. So I'm not so fond now to walk away from the whole thing. Did I answer it? I think that's it. I don't think I would eliminate it. What I would not do, though, again, is indebt the city. I would not indebt the city ever again, nor on a TIFA or a brownfield. But I'm not so gung-ho, and I would say I've changed since I've been in there, to just say, throw the thing out, because then we lose the $260,000 that we get from the county and the library, and I'd like to keep it. But again, since I've been on that board, when we started when I came here in '99, nothing from the TIFA went back into the general fund, and now $175,000 does go back in there. So there is some positive to that.
Like I've addressed, there are some positives, there's some negatives too. One of the positives is obviously the money in the county and other things. I know a lot of the business owners there find it to be helpful. But of course the residents, well, why isn't this money going to the general fund that we can use to fund the things that affect me as a resident? This is not something we can address until 2020, like I've said. So at that time we should look at, the economy could look totally different in those 3 years. We should address whether this is something that's still viable for the city and still something we can afford, and see about the county dollar situation, make our decision then with everything in consideration. What's good for the businesses, what's good for the residents, and what we need to put into our general fund if we can afford it. So, thank you.
I would have to concur with Candace that it's very difficult to make a final decision until 2012. This is a subject I learned a lot on in the past 6 months. I never realized, as Kip said, that we actually have money going into the general fund. Before I learned that, I was 100% against the TIFA. But if we're sharing it and we're keeping money from the county and we get to use it here, it would make more sense to assess it when the bond is paid off and try to determine where we are fiscally. Unfortunately, I think in 2012-13, I don't think things are going to be a whole lot better. So we may be in a position where we need every bit of money to come from there. But it's very hard to determine right now. So I would say that chances are we may need to get rid of that in the future. That's my personal opinion based on what I think the economy is going to be like. And if I knew that for sure, well, I'd be in Hawaii right now. So that's it.
Well, getting a pretty good rundown of what TIFA is. I know the feeling of the residents over years is it only takes care of that one area. Well, you're absolutely right. That's why my feeling right now is not to end TIFA. But when the bonds are paid off, we just got done about quality of life and how to bring families here. I'd like to take that TIFA money and invest it in Blossom Leaf Park, which we could use that TIFA money to give us another asset, to give us another park like Veteran Memorial. I mean, we could do something like that there. But I'd rather take that money and invest in that park. Now that park takes care of everyone in the community, plus it gives you something to entice families to come here. So at this point right now, I would not be in favor of ending it, but that would be my idea, is to reinvest in that park.
Next question, you remain seated. This will just be a quick yes and no. It's not that much fun. Do you favor an ethics policy to be added to the city charter?
Just yes or no?
Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Pete?
Yes.
Yes. Mark?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This will be our last question tonight. Know that you don't control the school districts directly. This question would be for Candace.
I said yes to the
No,
other.
no, this is a new question.
Oh, I.
This is
It's a
Last
stand-up
question,
question.
yeah, stand-up question. This would, again, have to be more an opinion question, realizing that you wouldn't have any direct control over this. But speaking of the school districts in St. Clair Shores, do you believe in joining them together into either one or two? It would be as a way to save the taxpayer dollars and the burden of multiple supervisor salaries.
Well, like you said, this isn't directly in council's control, and traditionally council has not taken a position on this. 10 years ago, I would have said no. However, after seeing what's happened in 10 years, seeing the cost of administration, I think that should be something that should be looked into. I know, however, this is an emotional issue. This is something that a lot of people have a lot of feelings on. I think the focus should be on what would be in the best interest of the children, the students who go to those schools and their families, and that should be what the focus should be on. It's a lot to fund, it's a lot for each school district to fund itself, and the administration, and running all the buildings. We do not want to get into a position where each school district has to start contemplating closure of some buildings. This happened up in Eaton Rapids, and it was just amazing. It's a suburb up of Lansing, and watching it, it was emotional. Don't close my school, my children love my school. Don't close this school, my children love school. No, we don't want to get into a position where we can't afford to fund all those buildings and have that type of duplication. But there are also property issues to think about. I know a lot of residents moving to the city, they want to move into a certain school district or another school district just based upon the reputation of that school district. Now, if we consolidate them, that issue might be gone because all of, the one or two school districts might be wonderful. So 30 seconds left. This is a tough issue to have 2 minutes on. I would be in favor of looking more into it and then making sure we have in place a plan for if consolidation has happened, what happens after consolidation. Obviously, one school board wouldn't have to be elected and they would have to make some tough decisions. And we want to make sure that the best people elected to that school board because they would have a way of priority.